All right, we got a lot going on right now, and it's been a pretty quiet day for the Detroit Lions. So here I am recording, and I want to talk to you about a guy that they're bringing in for a visit that, quite frankly, would be our best offseason move yet. It would be the best player that we're bringing in. The question that remains is a couple of things. What's the fit? How healthy is he going to be? And I think that's an important question to ask, right? So how healthy is he going to be? And also, how much will you have to pay him considering the health? Now, all jokes aside, I would make a joke here about Brad Holmes must love this guy because he's coming in injured, but I'm not sure how long this type of thing takes to heal, so hit me in the comments if you want, if you're a doctor and you know these types of things. But the Detroit Lions are bringing in top defensive tackle free agent for visit, and that defensive tackle is DJ Reader. All right? He has been playing for the Bengals, and he has been playing well for the Bengals. He is a very good player. He's not a guy who's going to get a ton of sacks, but he's a guy who's going to come in at 335 pounds. I think he's only 29 years old, and he is just going to wreak havoc everywhere he goes. He's the kind of guy that just blows stuff up. That's who he is. He's 29, like I said. He's almost 30. He'll be 30 by next year. That scares me. I think about when we brought in Snacks Harrison, and we brought him in, and then all of a sudden it was just boom, decline. So the Detroit Lions are bringing in DJ Reader. There's a few teams interested in him, but they're bringing him in instead of just signing him because they need him to clear medicals. This is a guy who I think with 3 weeks left in the regular season tore his quad. That quad tear required surgery. He's a 335-pound man. All right? That is a lot of pressure on a torn quad. So the question is, what does he have left? Here's what he said. He said, I feel like I've got a lot of good ball left in me. I'll let you read it along with me. All right? He said back in January, I feel like this was one of my better years, and I don't really want to end it that way. I've got a lot left in me, so just rehab it and get back. PFF is projecting a 3-year, $45.75 million contract. Look, these are calculated based on a lot of different things, but I'm telling you right now, it's not based on injury. Okay, yes, that is the projected contract, but it's not based on injury. That's not the only place that says it. All right? When you look at SpotTrak, one of my favorite spots, they're predicting a 3-year, $44.75 million contract. So these metrics, the things people use, PFF is a little heavier on its rating system. SpotTrak is a little heavier on who are the players that he compares to. All right? So they found 4 players that he compares to, and it was Delvin Tomlinson, Malik Collins, Grady Jarrett, and Davin Gadshaw. That averages $13.8 million. They were average age 28, but due to inflation, you're going to pop him up more in the $15 million range. I think that the Lions could do some good due diligence and sign him for a much lesser number. If we go out there and we end up paying an injured DJ Reader $15 million a year, I'm going to be like, what are we doing? Now, again, if it's one of those contracts where it's only a 2-year, 3-year, if you know what I mean. And what I mean by that is a lot of times there's contracts that get put out there and they're marked as a 3-year contract for $45 million, but only $27 million of it's guaranteed, and all that guaranteed money is in the first 2 years. So then you let them go for only a couple million in the last year or nothing. And that always is a good option as well. But I would rather be giving him like a 2-year, $23 million contract where there's 12 to 14 million guaranteed. So it's really only a 1.5 year contract, because if he can't be it, that's no good. If he is it, it completely changes our defense. It really helps our defense. If our defense was a top 5 run defense with Tyson Alu in there, if it was a top 5 run defense with just the revolving door next to Aleem McNeil, imagine what it could be when you have a legitimately good player in there. And he is legitimately good no matter what statistic you look at it for. All right. If you want to look at production, he's okay with the sacks. Not great. Only 13 total in his career. But his hurries are high every year. His tackles are good every single year. His grades overall are fantastic every year. For PFF, 82, 87, 80, 69, 87, 75, 79, and then his rookie year was a 68. And here's what I love about this. He put together good years with 2 different teams. So regardless of scheme, regardless of where he was playing, he put it together with 2 totally different teams. Now, he's a defensive tackle, so he's not going to be playing that 900 to 1,000 snaps. But the last couple of years, there's been some injury issues. So to go out and pay a guy $15 million who has injury issues, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you can get him at a bargain price because of the injuries, that's something that I think it's absolutely time to look into. Now, I do want to talk about one other thing other than DJ Reader. We'll find out about that here in the upcoming days. But what I would love to find out about I want to talk about this. Cam Johnson is gone. We've lost a starter. Chris did something on this, but I just wanted to chat about it because we're here, right? Goodbye. I'm okay with that. I was so sick of CJ Gardner-Johnson's mouth and everything else. And I don't know if you saw, but he had to issue an apology to the fans of Philly upon his return because as soon as he left, he went to Twitter or something and just started throwing F-bombs at the fans in Philly, saying the worst part about Philly is the fans. They're annoying, they suck, they're expletive this, and that's what he did. Like, I got this text from a buddy after he re-signed with Philly, and it showed that. And that's so on brand for CJ Gardner-Johnson. I like what we did with a 1-year contract with him because it's like, all right, it's a prove-it deal. Let's see what kind of a locker room presence you are and all of that. I was sick of him talking before the regular season even started with Kansas City. And you need guys that bring some of that swag, some of that talk. And by the way, Emick Robertson, he brings that. He brings some of that swag, but not at the same level as CJ Gardner-Johnson did, where CJ Gardner-Johnson, there's a difference between trash talk and then talking to talk. And for no apparent reason, just throwing stuff out there. And that's what I feel was what CJ Gardner-Johnson was doing more. So I'm happy to let him go and let Iffy have his time. Let Kirby has his time. Let Branch rotate in there sometimes when he's not at the nickel. Let Robertson play the nickel when Branch is in the safety spot. Like, there's a lot of things we can do with this defense without CJ Gardner-Johnson. So I'm not upset about the move. Just wanted to talk about it on here for a little bit. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. We want to be your spot for Lions content, free agency, draft, everything. See you later.